Hey guys, welcome back to the Interceptor. Today we are here with another Alliance War video, and ISO8A is taking on NY718, or Guardians. These guys are, I believe, second place in Alliance Quest. They might be first even. And way back when, like 10 seasons ago, they were a Masters Alliance. In fact, they were one of the top Masters Alliance. For a while, they were like a top 3 to 5 Alliance. And then they just fell off the face of the earth. And I have no idea what happened, but from that moment on, they were like a low plat 1, high plat 2 alliance. And I don't know why, because even now, I would argue that the difference between Platinum 1 and Masters is a big enough difference to be pushing for. Definitely, like, the excuse of the rewards are close enough that it doesn't matter is not a valid excuse. It's because you are not good enough or are not willing to make the effort to get there. So it's just kind of really always confused me as to why they fell off, especially when talking about prestige on the topic. They are one of the top alliances, so therefore they have the best attackers and defenders, most likely. Sorry, kind of got off track there. That has nothing to do with war. But I only have 5 fights today. I was assigned, I think, 8 fights. 8 or 9. I can't believe it. I can't remember. It was either 8 or 9 fights. I actually have no clue. And I'm actually not going to use Quake at all. So Quake was supposed to have 3 fights. And one of the fights that I was going to use Quake for, I ended up using Warlock for, because I discovered the defender has willpower on. And then the other 2 get taken by someone else before I had the chance to take them. So this section 1, this is Moleman, and this fight's gonna go horribly. It is gonna go the worst it can possibly go. So Moleman is an unstoppable armor defender. So he will be getting unstoppable when he has armor ups sometimes. In this node, every 10 hits gives you armor ups. So right there, he didn't do it. So I threw my L3. And at this point, I was at 4 of the charges. And once he gets to 10, he has a 30% chance to trigger an unstoppable. So I start my regular Doom cycle. And then he gets the unstoppable, hits me with a combo, gets to an L3. I think I'm at an L1. Turns out I'm at an L2. Throw the L2. He's about to die. He throws an L3. Now, I've already been hit. So I'm going to take full damage from this. And he's in frenzy. So those hits that he got against me were guaranteed crits. So this is fun. And then it doesn't do enough damage. Like, the bleed's expired. It wouldn't have killed me. But we waste a few potions for absolutely no reason against the biggest joke of a fight on a diversity node. And we have to heal up. Yeah. That is the worst fight of this war, I want to say. There is one fight that I end with lower health, but it is because it wasn't really because I made a mistake. Like, I do make mistakes in the fight, but it was nowhere near as bad as that fight. And this is a very easy fight. This is Airwalker on the second node of Path 3, Section 1. There, I think I took 1 hit of the L2, but I'm honestly not sure because I tried to dex it, and I didn't get knocked down. So I don't think I got hit. I think that was just the animation of it hitting into my block, but I genuinely have no clue because I might have lost my combo. I wasn't really paying attention to that. And even if I did get hit, I'm going to heal this fight overall because of the Dark Tide on me. So I'm not really worried at all. There I throw my L1, and he's pretty much dead. In fact, I'm just going to throw another L1 because the detonation damage doesn't trigger for a few seconds. And I knew that even if the first hit didn't kill him, the beams would. So now we get into my favorite fight of the war. Now, I have seen Hyena from SSX, a good friend of mine. I've seen him take this fight with Doom many times. And we have been using Thing for it mostly, but we do actually have a guy on path 2 with Thing, but we thought this was a good war to test it out because we know we would beat these guys by a very, very big number, which is what ends up happening. So I have a white Magneto on this fight. Now the plan is to start off by beating a heavy there. I counter him just a little bit early. But what I want to do is I really, really want to just abuse the hell out of Mystic Dispersion to get to my L3 before I even trigger Furies on him. So you're going to see that he only has 2 Furies on him when I trigger my... when I throw my first special attack, which is really, really nice, and that's just because of MD5. So what you want to do is you want to keep him into the SP3 cycle while watching your Chitin charges. I think that's what they're called, the ones that do an armor up. So there, I actually did the correct thing by throwing my special 1 as the hit that pushes him over the 10. Unfortunately, I got really unlucky and he decided to counter me and hit me with a combo. And then right here, I threw my special 3 while he was unstoppable from the global. And what that did is it... the special 3 didn't stun, which left him at his special 3. Now, I got lucky that he didn't throw his, but it could have gone worse. I'm actually going to get poisoned right here. I think what I should have just done is, in this moment, I should have thrown my special 1 first off. That was a mistake that I didn't throw my special 1 right there. But I decided to wait out the buff just because I didn't really want it to get nullified. But I think I get poisoned in this fight, right? Do I not get poisoned in this fight? Maybe I'm thinking of another fight. I don't know. Anyways, like, Doom works for this fight. Obviously, you just have to run MD5 and you have to know what you're doing with the charges. Do I get... Yeah, so he goes unstoppable there. So here I should have thrown my special 1. It's another mistake. Yes, okay, so I got poisoned from the blocked hit there. Okay, that's probably what I expected. And then here I was just waiting for the global to trigger, and I'm going to throw another special 3. That fight could have gone so much better, and Doom is actually a really good counter. Hyena usually finishes this fight around like 92, 93% health, somewhere around there. Like, very healthy. So Doom is a great counter. I just messed up this fight multiple ways. Taking hits to the face was not great. Now, I do actually want to go back. No, you know what? We're going to finish these fights, and then I'll go back and show the fights that I was assigned but didn't take. So, we have this Domino on path 7, section 2. This is actually the exact same Domino that I fought the previous war. And, it's a very easy fight with Warlock. You see, I actually only used 10% boosts here. That's really because I was cheaping out. That's the genuine reason. I don't have an excuse. I just knew this war was over. At this point, the boss was down. The global was down. Not that either of my defenders are global defenders. But they also... these were our last 2 fights in the entire war. In all 3 battle groups, I had the last 2 fights. So this was actually a really inconvenient day for me to be doing the war, because at the moment I am doing this fight, I am sitting in an airport waiting to board my flight, because that's just the chance I got to do war. So when I woke up for the day, the minis that I was supposed to take were still there. Like, all of the fights. All the fights I was supposed to take after this were all still there. So I started messaging the guys. I'm like, okay, tag me when we're ready to go. And then an hour later, no one has responded. And then 2 hours later, no one has responded. And at that point, I had to leave to go to the airport to fly back home. So in the time that it took me to drive to the airport and get through security, all of a sudden everyone shows up, and they take the fights that I was supposed to take. Now, it actually works out really well for me. I'm not complaining about this, to be clear. I'm just explaining my situation because it actually saved me potions. Because I would have had to heal my Doom after this fight. And I think I would have had to heal my Warlock. No, it was a Quake fight. Okay. It was a Quake fight on the boss island that I missed out on. But I would have had to heal my Doom. So the guy that took my Doom fight, I actually really appreciate it. He saved me 2 potions. So yeah, this is the fight that the title is about, Almost Dying. This is SpiderHam. Now, I am an idiot. It shouldn't matter that he's running willpower because I should have just used Quake. There's no actual reason I didn't use Quake. I just wanted to use Warlock. And I'm going to lose all 3 hits in my invulnerability boost right there. And I'm going to get a power sting on me. Now, while I'm taunted, I'm going to do way less damage. So what I should have been doing is I should have been sitting in my own corner, dexing his first medium, parrying, and heavying. Now, if you keep this up, you can just do that forever, and the opponent will never reach a bar of power. But because I have 0 brain cells that work, what I'm going to do is I'm going to continually let him throw specials and reach bars of power so that he does more damage, takes less damage, and gains more power, because that's how smart I am. So here he is at more than half health, and I'm at 72% health. This fight's going to turn around a lot. So I've been taunted this whole fight. So if I had not been taunted, he would have been dead already. He would have been dead about 20 seconds ago. But I'm very smart. So at this point, I kind of realize I'm taking a lot of block damage. I don't want to get cornered. So what I have to do is I have to try to keep a debuff on him, and I have to keep him away. And at this point, I had the brilliant idea, oh, I'm going to throw a special 2. Brain dead moment. God knows what I was thinking. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait until I think I have none of the charges, no porker poppers. So I see that porker popper on me. I'm like, okay, let me just let that expire. And then I do the dumbest thing possible by hitting him with a medium attack before throwing my L2. And what that does is it puts a porker popper on me right before I throw my special 2. So I go all the way down to 10% health, almost die, and then just barely clutch out the fight at 4%. That was just the dumbest fight, and I'm just happy I didn't die. Because if I had died, A, I played like garbage, and B, I'm massively underboosted because I thought it was a safe fight. If I could redo that, I would use a 20% boost, and I would just Quake that fight, because he is not hard to Quake. I genuinely don't know why I didn't Quake him. So, now that is over, I'm going to go back. I'm going to show you the 3 fights I was assigned that I didn't end up getting, that I didn't end up taking. So we're just going to go into Spectate here. So the first one I was assigned was that Kitty Pride on Mixmaster. I was assigned that fight with Quake. That was one of my 2 Quake fights this war that I was assigned. And it ended up not working out because I was busy that night. And I just had, I think it was a Nimrod take that fight. So Nimrod is fine. I think Quake's a better counter, but Nimrod's fine for that fight. I also could have taken that with Warlock effortlessly. And then on the boss island, I was assigned to Quake. Who was I assigned to Quake? I forget. I was assigned to Quake either Black Panther or Kingpin. I don't remember. It was one of the 2. I know we had a Tiger assigned for that Super Scroll, so it wasn't that fight. And is that it? I don't remember. Okay, one of those 2 fights I was assigned with Quake. That's all I know. And also this Red Skull. This Red Skull on Node 47, I was assigned that fight with Doom. The strategy was that I would just start with a special 1 boost, throw the special 1 into the air to get power back, which would get me another special 1. I'd do that until he was at 0. 0 armor ups, and then I would just parry heavy until he was dead. That was the strategy. Would have worked. I would have ended with 100% health. Yeah, it was a very easy fight. But our guy ended up using a Horseman Archangel for it, and he did solo it with almost all his health. So thank you to the guy that took that. But it was a really, really bad day for me, because the night before we left was the night I went to the Habs game, the Montreal Canadiens game. So after I cleared my Section 1 in Alliance War, when I was supposed to be available to take that Kitty Pride, I was at the hockey game. And I had to take my Section 1 before, because the guy on Path 2 and 1 needed to fight while I was at hockey, while I was watching the hockey game, but the person taking Omega Sentinel was not there. So the compromise there was that I not take Kitty Pride. Anyways, kind of just really, really bad day. So the night of the war, the first day, I was busy and I couldn't take the fights I was supposed to. And then in the morning, when I was available, other people weren't available. And then when they were available, I was no longer available. So it just didn't really work out. But I did get my 5 fights, which is the average number of fights per war per person. And I didn't die. So really, I have nothing to complain about. We are now 2-0 on the season. I forgot to screenshot or something. But we won this war 20-5. It was not a close war. We were always way ahead. They died like 3 times early, and then by the time we died once, they were at like 7 or 8. Like it was never close. And then they kind of stopped dying a little more towards the end, but they did die 20 times. So the final score was 20-5. We are 2-0 on the season. My death total is at 0, and my PSR is at 13 out of 13, or 100%. And my deathless streak is at 19. So I will see you all in the next war video. Bye.